What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy P. Skip. Welcome to the best half hour of your entire Tuesday. You know what time it is. It's time to get into his court. My squad with me, T-Mac.
Hola.
Chili Will.
Gracias, amigo.
Let's do this. Let's get into this, y'all. We want to say what up to T-Mac. He's not going to be with us today, but me and Chill going to hold us down. So,
I T-Mac, I don't know all them big words like you, man, but I'm going to try a couple of them.
Right. But see, T-Mac be using words that folk don't even be knowing. Like, he'd be like, see, what we need to do is bolificate on that. I'm like, what is bolification, bro?
That's why we love him. That's why we
That's why we love him, man. So anyway, Romans chapter 13, verse 7. I read this last week. It says, render therefore to all their due, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom is due, fear to whom fear, and honor to whom honor. I want a big shout out to the NBA for retiring Bill Russell's number 6. It is retired in the entire league. Nobody can have it except for those. I think there's like 3 players who still have it, which is LeBron and a few other players. But other than that, that number cannot be given out anymore. And even the Lakers, I saw a picture of their floor and they put a Boston Clover with a number 6 on their floor.
That's blasphemy, man. That's blasphemy.
It's blasphemy for anybody else but him.
Yeah, you're right. It's blasphemy for anybody else but him.
Anybody else but Bill Russell.
But you know, Bill Russell been a thorn in their side throughout the history. He done sent them home crying so many times. But he is so great that it's worth paying him that type of respect and that type of homage. He deserves it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering, is that this year it's going to be a 6? Because I'm not seeing it being there.
No, that's just this year. And then we don't even know what Boston is going to do yet, because the league got to do what they got to do. But Boston, they got to have something on their uniform. The league might make them have something on their uniforms. We got to see what Boston is going to do to honor such an icon.
Yeah. Again, the things he's accomplished, I don't think will ever be accomplished again in the history of the NBA.
Or sports, period.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the fact that you won 11 championships in 13 years.
Yes.
Who do you know has a dynasty anywhere close to that?
Nobody.
I mean, I'm talking about high school, college, playground. I don't even know cats who win 13 games when you go play on the playground.
Yeah.
13 games in a row. So, or 11 games in a row, so he's amazing.
Yeah.
He's amazing,
Yeah.
So listen, I want to read this scripture. Luke chapter 10, verse 7 in the New Living says this. Don't move around from home to home. Stay in one place, eating and drinking what they provide. Don't hesitate to accept hospitality, because those who work deserve their pay. Now, I read that because KD has given the Nets owner, Joe Tsai, an ultimatum that either both GM Sean Marks and head coach Steve Nash goes, or he's gone. How do you think that's going to play out? Do you think he's going to, because here's the thing, Katie, you've now been labeled as a jumper. You move around from team to team. If you don't like something, you move. So no one's looking at you as being loyal to anything or anybody. And now you're saying, I want the GM and the coach to be gone. And from the rumors I've heard, even Kyrie has a problem with Nash. But if you remember, I said that was a horrible signing for them. I said Steve Nash does not know how to, first of all, he's never been a head coach. And 2, you do not know how to coach these kind of personalities. I said it's not going to work. And it hasn't worked from day one.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, and you were standing on it emphatically. That's in honor of Tim, emphatically. I hope I'm saying it right.
You said it right, bro.
Anyway, Same thing. I said that. I remember I said in the beginning that Brooklyn Nets were going to implode,
Right.
and that's exactly what they did.
That's exactly what they did. And they thought bringing in more pieces would make them better, and it made it worse.
Yes.
You know, so as a owner, what would you do if your star player said, hey, and really it's two stars, because if Kyrie don't like Steve Nash, then the question is, if I get rid of Sean Marks and Steve Nash, are both of y'all staying? Because both of y'all are under contract. So you can't go nowhere. You can't go nowhere unless I make some major deals. But what would you do if you were the owner?
I would tell KD, you know, it's nice knowing you. I should get whatever I can for him. I'll let him go, because once you give the schoolyard bully your lunch money, he's gonna expect to get your lunch money every day. You're gonna have to fight back at one point if you want to keep your lunch money. So they already said that they had given Kyrie and KD too much power and leeway in the organization, and they was getting ready to try to reel that in. They can't go back on that. Even though most people feel that Steve Nash is not the answer, still, they can't give them an ultimatum and they get rid of him because of that. Now, the other side of this is this. Now, KD making those type of public statements about management and coaching, what other teams? If I'm the coach of the Boston Celtics, I don't know if I want KD coming on my team when he can just tell ownership to fire me. So he's taking that reputation with him wherever he goes. Now he's drawing a line in the sand. And if they say, KD, hey, we're not doing what you said, he got to come back and play. Now, if he say he going to sit out, now that's even more drama. And he almost have to sit out. Because you already done said you ain't going to play for these cats. And if you come back and you play anyway, so what you were selling was wolf tickets. So I think this right here is going to be really, really peculiar. But at me as the owner, even if I didn't like the GM and I didn't like the coach, I'm not getting ready to let my players make my business decisions for me. I'm not getting ready to do that. So that's what I would do. What about you? What about you?
I agree with you, and from a line in the sand point. Say, hey, you ain't running nothing here. But just from a fan standpoint, what if KD's right? These cats don't know what they're doing. And I
think KD is right.
Right.
But you can't come to me as the owner and put that out in the public like I'm a puppet, like you know, you the boss, like you own the team. I mean, if you'd have did that behind closed doors, then maybe we could have worked something out, but you don't went public with it.
But we don't know if he did go public with it. Because he met.
Me and you talking about it. Me and you talking about it because we done heard different people say that's what got said. And I seen it in print.
Right. I seen it in print too. But the question is, did somebody leak their private meeting?
Oh.
That's the question. Was it behind closed doors and y'all said something? But to make KD look bad, you put it out there.
Stranger things have happened.
I mean, because we've seen how teams have slandered names and players to get what they want and to control the narrative. We've seen it happen. Like, for instance, I was watching a thing on Troy Aikman and why he ended up retiring from Dallas. You know, the narrative was all the concussions he had. But he said, that's not why I retired. I retired because out of all the things I've done for Dallas, they were going in a different direction and they didn't care about my thoughts on it. So it's like, if y'all don't care where we're going and I'm your main player here, then what you're telling me is I'm not important enough, so I'm gonna just bow out of this. And that's why he retired.
Yeah.
But the narrative that was put out there was all of his concussions is why he quit.
Yeah.
You know, so this could be the same thing. It could be KD said, listen, I did meet with you. We met. And I ain't the one that put this out there. Y'all put our conversation out there because you're trying to control the narrative. And so for that, you know, you just don't know. You don't know, you know, what's smoke and mirrors. You don't know, you know. And if that's the case, like you said, Joe can't do nothing with this other than let KD go or make him play his contract out.
Well, at least for this year.
Right.
Because I think he got 3 or 4 years left on his contract. He just signed last year.
Right. And I even think about, still talking about basketball, I think about Phoenix. They just matched the Pacers' offer to DeAndre Ayton.
Yes.
And so now, no matter what issues they have, which is it's got to be bad because y'all done talked about this man so much, and now you bring him back. So how you gonna mend that fence? How you gonna mend that fence? And so I'm looking at with KD, how y'all gonna mend this fence? Is he gonna play like he pissed off and give everybody 50 a night? Or is he gonna sulk and find little reasons to quit? I mean, not to play, No, I'm not taking the shot this year. I'm not being vaccinated or whatever. This is, to me, it's really turning into a bad situation that really is going to end up being a no-win situation for anybody. Because regardless to what goes down, Katie, your reputation is taking a major hit. A major hit. Regardless to what goes down, Kyrie, your reputation is taking a major hit. Regardless to what goes down, Steve Nash, I don't think you'll get a head coaching job anytime soon. To say you had these superstars and you couldn't do nothing with them, it's just, it doesn't look good. And Sean Marks, you put all this together only for us to, you put all your chips on the table only for us to lose all these chips, and all of the players we have for the future, you got rid of them for these chips. It don't look good for you either. So it really looks bad all around for everybody involved in this. So I'm just curious to find out what's going to happen with this scenario. But let's switch gears, man. Let's look over at football. I want to read Isaiah 1:18 in the message. It says here, "Come, sit down. Let's argue this out." This is God's message. If your sins are blood red, they'll be white snow. If they're red like crimson, they'll be like wool. And I said that because last week, Deshaun Watson was given a 6-game suspension by an arbitrator for the NFL. Roger Goodell said, after we've gotten all the evidence, 6 games ain't enough. We're looking at his entire season. Not only his entire season, but they're also talking about $12 million that they want him to pay in fines. Now, the issue comes in is that Deshaun Watson knew that they were going to ask for extra, and he said, at the most, I'm willing to submit to 8 games and $5 million. Anything else, my lawyer and the Players Association is suing the owners. Like, we're suing you. You can't do that. You can't take a whole year from me for something that didn't happen on the field. This happened off the field, and I was acquitted by a judge, but you got some evidence that says, no, according to our standards, you did do it, and we're going to penalize you. So this is going to turn out real ugly, and we're still trying to figure out what that's going to end up being, because Deshaun Watson's whole thing is he just doesn't want to lose a whole season. That's his whole thing. I don't want to lose a whole season this year with all my games. I want to play at least, 5 or 6 games out of it. But the league, the owners could have an arbitrator that could overturn all of it. That could overturn all of the decisions made by the first one, and he could end up with a whole year suspension. I'm just trying to, we were happy for him because he was playing, because realistically, he already gave y'all a year.
Yes. Yes, he missed last year. He missed last year.
And so you're telling him 2 years? That's pretty much what you're saying, because he missed all last year.
Yes.
Any other judicial system is called time served.
Yes.
But you're trying to say, nah, we're going to penalize you more, and we're going to make it 2 years.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I think you're stepping too much there.
Well, having an arbitrator decide and then you appeal the arbitrator. It's an arbitrator that you picked and you agreed to. And the arbitrator decide what's fair, and you come in and saying, no, we don't like what the arbitrator is saying. We're going to bring in somebody who probably going to say what we want them to say. We're going to bring that person in, and that's what we're going to go with. To me, in regular criminal law, that's double jeopardy.
Right.
You already been tried.
Exactly.
And now because it didn't go the way y'all wanted to go, y'all going to say, we don't care about that. We're going to try them again in our own personal court of law. That's crazy. I mean, and then what if the new person come in and say, you know what? He should only get 2 games. Now what y'all going to do?
Right.
Well, you know that ain't going to happen because that's their guy.
Exactly. You know that's
so that ain't going to happen. So we already know it's going to at least be 1 year.
Right.
It's going to be at least that.
Right.
And they might try to split the baby and say, we're going to give you 1 year and no fine. Right. But if they get a man a fine and double the amount of what the arbitrator gave, based on the arbitrator looked at all of the exact same information that the courts looked at, that this person is going to look at, and came to the conclusion that he shouldn't lose any money, but he should miss 6 games. I don't know how y'all going to double that and call that fair. So for me, who's on trial right now is not Deshaun Watson. Who's on trial is the NFL Players Association.
Right. Right.
Because if y'all can't defend this man and y'all can't get this right, then why do we have a union?
Right. Yeah, there's definitely, if this goes down, you've lost a whole lot of leverage.
Oh, plenty of leverage. Y'all just a paper lion. Y'all don't come in here with no teeth trying to roar.
Right.
We can just slap y'all back anytime we want.
Right. You know.
So to me, this is going to be an indictment on the strength or the weakness of the NFL's Players Association. That's what this is about.
Yeah. But
y'all supposed to be able to defend this man.
Right. But it's also going to get real ugly come negotiating the next contract between the players and the owners.
It's going to be real ugly.
It's going to be real ugly if this goes the wrong way.
Yeah.
Because you know, just staying with the NFL, it's been 6 months after former Dolphin coach Brian Flores filed a class action lawsuit against the league, accusing the New York Giants and the Denver Broncos of conducting a sham interview in order to fulfill the Rooney Rule requirements and charging the Dolphins with incentivizing losing games and improperly recruiting Tom Brady. Now, here's what the league is saying, or what they're talking about doing for them. They're talking about the Dolphins are going to lose like 2 first-round choices, 2 first rounds for next year, and then a 3rd round for the next following year, and like 1.5 million. So how do Deshaun Watson, what he did was off the court, had nothing to do with the integrity of the game. Nothing to do with the integrity of the game. But you have owners who are just violating the players, the people who are paying. I'm not paying for you to lose, but you're doing it on purpose. You're violating that. You're violating losing and lying to us, saying, hey, we're doing the Rooney Rule. We're giving Black people the ability to apply for a head coaching job, and you didn't. And all of it, you're found guilty of all of it, and all you get is 1.5 million and loss of 2 first-round draft choices and 23, and a 3rd round and 24. And that's it. How is the justice that Deshaun gets 5 million and a whole year, but the Dolphins get 3 draft choices and 1.5?
And like you said, they were found guilty of tampering with Tom Brady and Sean Payton, both of them.
Exactly.
And they was found guilty of tampering, which is the integrity of the game on the field. And that's all they get. Once again, this is the NFL's Players Union. The owners can say, you talking about, okay, the owners, there have been problems with Schneider in Washington with everything that's going on there. There's been problems with Kraft in New England when he had some problems at a massage parlor.
Right.
He didn't get fined and lost games, and that was directly related to the integrity of the game also.
Right.
So right now it's a double standard that's going on, and the players union is going to have to say this right here might go to a higher court, because really it's a serious double standard right now. And the NFL is saying, you know what, we judge, jury, and God. So It's going to be some problems in this, and they doing all this to keep their female fan base and keep all that happy, but they could mess around and upset their male fan base with some of the things that they doing.
Yeah. And what's crazy is they gave Deshaun Watson his ruling. Less than 2 days later, they gave the Saints or the Dolphins their ruling. So like, how does that work? You did all this in the same week within 48 hours of one another, and one was throw the book at him, and the other one is leniency.
Yeah, tap on the wrist.
Right. How does that work?
The difference is ownership and labor. That's the difference.
All day. But you look schizophrenic as a league, though. You look schizophrenic. And I'm not trying to, belittle anybody who's going through that or has some mental issues, but there is no consistency. Because do you remember when Ben Roethlisberger got in trouble with messing with, I think, underage, like college girls or something like that, like 17-year-old girls? That got swept under the rug so quickly. Ben Roethlisberger didn't lose any games, and I don't remember any fines. Now, he might have been fined, but I do not remember him losing any games for it. And so,
well, even if he did lose some games and got fined, he didn't get fined $12 million. He didn't lose 2 years. He didn't do that.
Right. And let's just be honest. It's really more than 12 million, because you didn't get that whole year of pay either.
No, he got paid.
So he did get paid that year.
He got paid.
That they just had him sitting.
He didn't play, but he got paid.
So then the question becomes, do they look at that as a suspension? Or like a police officer, you're suspended with pay? Or do they look at it like, because you got paid, you weren't suspended? Even though I didn't play a year.
No, you got suspended because your job is to play football and you weren't able to do your job.
I agree with you. But then again, the question, like we said earlier, then how do you get 2 years?
Yes.
How do you get 2 years and they got 3 draft choices and 1.5?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Hey, in the words of Ricky Ricardo, the NFL got some splaining to do.
Right. For real.
Hey, they got some splaining to do.
And we're really trying to, I'm trying to wrap my head around and say, okay, let's reason with this. I get it. Owners get different level of privilege. They get a different level of
and let's be real. Roger Goodell works for the owners.
He does.
The NFL Players Union is supposed to work for the players.
Right.
So this is a power struggle between those two entities.
And to me, Roger Goodell shouldn't work for either one. The league should be paying him. I mean, some should be coming from the players union and some should be coming from the owners, but he doesn't work for either one. So he should be able to be impartial, but you can never be impartial if the owners are paying you're signing your check.
Right.
You can never be impartial. You're always going to look like it's us against them.
Yes. And
that's why so many players don't like him. Because you ain't for us. Nothing you've done has been to help us. Everything you've done has been to help them. And so, this is getting uglier by the minute. And the fact that this stuff keeps getting out there on the internet and the World Wide Web and all, it's really going to be defining where that line is drawn amongst fans. It's really going to be amazing to see how many fans are going to say, well, he should get that. Or how many fans say, well, why should he get 2 years and 12 million? And they got 3 draft choices and 1.5. How does that work? So it's really going to be amazing to me to see how this works. with all the tampering that has happened. And you've seen tampering. And what really happened to Spygate? What really happened to the Patriots owner?
They got fined for Spygate, but he did some stuff with some massage parlors too.
Right.
That he actually was found guilty of.
Right. So they don't have the same standards.
No, it's double standards all day long. This is another example of, don't do what we say, do what we tell you.
Do what we say, not what we do.
Yeah, do what we say and not what we do. Yeah, this is crazy. I mean, the NFL is in a bad spot. What if the other players that's in the union say, hey man, y'all not treating our brother with the respect, so we not gonna play.
Right.
What if they say that?
Right. Right.
What if they say that Deshaun Watson could be me?
Right.
And what if they say, no, we're gonna stand with this man? What happens then?
Right.
Now, what happens to your fan base?
Right. Or they have a national ankle twist day.
Yeah.
Can't nobody play. Everybody's ankle is twisted in the league.
Yeah.
Everybody's.
Yeah.
So again, this is going to get real ugly real fast. And it took 6 months for you to do this.
And get this, Deshaun Watson played in the first preseason game.
Right.
So he can play in the preseason.
Right. So we'll see. Well, listen, another great show. Meet us right here next week, same bat time, same bat channel, for the #1 faith-based sports talk show in the entire world. Also, check us out on YouTube for Into His Courts. If you want to see us live, you can watch it there. If you want to hear the review again and the preview again, or the rewind, the pre-broadcast, or the rebroadcast, you can see it then. But check us here next week, every Tuesday from 7 to 7:30, right here on Joy 1340, 98.7 FM. We'll see you next week. Have an amazing week.